So today we're gonna see about the air starting system of a two-stroke crossed marine diesel engine. This is applicable either for the four-stroke engine. So let's start with the general arrangement. So this is a simple basic air starting circuit of a two-stroke crossed marine diesel engine. For the ease of understanding, I have eliminated all the pilot valves and spool valves, and I've incorporated only the basic things which are necessary to understand the operation. So let's first understand the circuit and then see the operation. This is the main air bottle, and we have a slow opening screw down non-return valve, and the pilot air goes to turning gear interlock and a pilot valve which is operated by the fuel start lever or the air start lever. And from the pilot valve the line goes to the automatic air start valve, and in MAN B&W it is a ball valve which opens 90-degree and then through a rack and pinion arrangement. So once I disengage this turning gear, the pilot air passes through it and then pushes this piston up, thus opening the valve, and air passes through this, waiting at the air start valve which is mounted on the cylinder head, and the part goes to the air starting distributor, and this is the distributor cam, and this air pressure which is waiting over here pushes all the distributor pilot valves, thus all the pilot valves rest on this cam surface, and once any particular unit touches the peak of the cam, the air passes through that particular unit and then opens the air start valve. So with this diagram we're going to see how it exactly works. Let us consider number 4 cylinder is going to open the main air start valve which is mounted on the cylinder head. So let's start with it now. So now I disengage the turning gear, so the pilot air from here passes through it. Let's see it once again. The turning gear is engaged. Now I'm going to disengage. The pilot is not passing right now. Once I disengage it, it passes through this and then it waits at the automatic air start valve. Now I'm going to move this fuel lever and then give air to the engine. Once I give air, the pilot valve is pulled down by the linking mechanism, and then all the air which is on top of the automatic air start valve is vented. You can see it is being vented. Once again we'll get back to the older picture and see how it works. Now I'm going to pull this lever and then just have a look what is happening here. This is in this position, air is passing through. Now I'm going to pull the lever. So now the air which is on top of the automatic air start valve is vented. Now air is being admitted through the turning gear interlock, and then you can see this valve is open and the vent is shut. So this air passes through this space and then it goes to the air start valve on the cylinder head and it waits there, and then a part of air goes to the distributor. Now watch closely what happens to the distributor and the air start valve. Since number 4 cylinder is about to, or it's about to reach the peak, let's see what happens. All the distributor pilot valves engage to the surface of the cam, and since number 4 cylinder is on the peak, the piston is being pushed down and then the air passes and then it opens the air start valve on the cylinder head, allowing air to inside the unit, and then the engine turns on air now. Now we'll see what happens to the distributor. Now it moves to cylinder number 3, and the process repeats for cylinder number 3 and number 2 respect to the firing order, and the engine turns and then picks up on fuel because there is an overlap provided in this between the units. We will see in the future videos how the overlap is provided, but let's now see what's happening to the cylinder number 4. It's in the peak, that's down. The air passes through and opens. Now as it rises above the peak, this port is closed off and the air about the air starting valve on the cylinder is vented, and again what you can see is as it is getting vented, you can move the lever to air, and then now change it back to fuel. As you change it back to fuel, the pressure over here is vented. So this area is vented now, and now let's concentrate on this area. So on the fuel side, we can start moving this to the fuel side, and thus once we move it, these two air above the distributor pilot valve and this area is being vented. You can see over here the pilot valve. As I move it to the fuel side, this pilot valve moves up, air comes through this, and then it goes and then pushes the automatic air start valve. Thus here it is shut and here it is open, so the air which is in the space between the distributor and the main air start valve on the cylinder head is vented now. Now I move it to the fuel. Once I move it on fuel, the engine runs and then the air starting system is completely isolated, and then engine picks up on fuel. So that's it about the air starting system. In the future videos we'll see more on the overlap and how the engine reverses.